If you watch my channel, you know I review a lot of convertible laptops such as the HP Spectre X360 or the Lenovo Yoga 920, among others. But they all cost a lot of money, well above $1,000, and many people can't afford them. The good news is you don't have to break the bank to get a premium convertible laptop anymore. Hey everybody, it's Andrew from AMDtech, and this is my unboxing and first look at the Teclast F6 Pro, a premium convertible laptop that won't break the bank. I've got a lot of exciting things on the way to the studio, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. GearBest sent this over for my unbiased opinion. I'm not being paid or being sponsored by GearBest. The Teclast F6 Pro comes in at $449. It's currently on flash sale over at GearBest. I'll put the link below. For that, you get 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of SSD storage. It's powered by the Intel Core M3 7Y30 7th generation Intel processor. Now, it took a couple of days to get to me from China to the United States via DHL, and GearBest did a nice job in terms of packaging the product. It was not damaged at all. It was actually pretty well secured. Now, opening the package itself, you realize that Teclast has stepped up their game in terms of appearance and their packaging. Opening the box, you're greeted by the unit itself, and the first thing you'll notice is how high-end, how premium this machined aluminum device feels. It feels really high-end, and it's not too heavy but not too light at the same time. You also get some documentation and warranty information. It's in both English and in Chinese. Now, the supplied power charger is a proprietary pin connector. It's 12 volts, 2 amps, but you could also charge via USB-C. I used my MacBook Pro's charger and it worked without a hitch. Holding the unit for the first time, you realize this is a very premium, high-end feeling device. It doesn't feel like a $450 device, it feels much more expensive. Now, there's no logo on the top of the device, just like you get with the Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro. Very nondescript, very classy looking. I think they did a really nice job in build and quality of this device. And it's pretty evident that Teclast paid attention to the little details. They even put little rubber stoppers in the USB ports. A really nice touch to keep any dust and kind of dirt out of the USB ports. And speaking of the ports, here's what you get. On the left side of the device is a USB-C port, data charge, and I believe display out are possible. And you also get a micro HDMI to connect to a monitor and a USB 3.0. And on the right side of the device is your DC in, your 3.5mm headset jack, USB 3.0, micro SD card slot for storage expansion, and your power button. The F6 Pro has a 13.3-inch IPS touch display. It's a glossy display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. That's a full HD resolution. It has 166 pixels per inch, and it has a 16:9 aspect ratio. Now, one thing you'll notice right off the bat, this is not a fully laminated display. That means there's a slight gap between the panel and the glass itself. Not a big deal, but it does affect brightness, and it does affect the overall quality of the screen. That being said, it's still a very sharp display nonetheless. You get pretty deep blacks and pretty good vibrant colors, although this is not the brightest display in the world. I'm estimating that this is about 250 nits in terms of brightness, and it's a very glossy display, so outdoor visibility or readability is not going to be the best. Now, as far as indoor use, it'll be perfectly fine, but again, a very high glossy display. Now, this being an IPS panel, you will get some very good viewing angles. Of course, I will be doing my full testing on this display coming up in my full review, so stay tuned for that. Now, I really like the keyboard. I'm guessing at about 1.2, 1.3 millimeters of key travel. It's comfortable to type on. It's nicely spaced out. I'm actually pretty impressed on how sturdy this keyboard is as well. Now, it's not backlit, unfortunately, as you do get on some other high-end laptops. This, unfortunately, does not have a backlight. Nonetheless, it's still very comfortable to type on. Now, as far as the touchscreen is concerned, it's really responsive. It does work well with pinch to zoom, and you can do scrolling with your finger really nicely. And as far as the touchpad is concerned, it works really well. It's a bit undersized, but you can do all your Windows 10 gestures, and two-finger scrolling is a pleasure. I'm actually surprised on how good that touchpad is. Again, a bit undersized, but very responsive. And this having a 360-degree hinge, meaning you can put it into the different positions. It's a very versatile product. You can put it into what I call tent mode, great for media consumption, recipes in the kitchen, and the like. And you can also put it into what I call stand mode, great for presentations and for meetings. And of course, you could also use that to consume media as well. Or you can just put it down into tablet mode, great for navigating with your finger or for use with the pen. Now, I don't have one in the box and they don't include one, so I will be trying to get one, and if I do, I will report my findings on how well the pen works with the F6 Pro. And it has a fingerprint sensor located within the trackpad. Setup was easy and worked really well, registering my finger pretty much every time I used it. This is great for logging in with Windows Hello. Teclast makes it really easy to swap out your SSD by putting an access door on the bottom of the device. It's secured in by one screw. Removing that one screw gives you the access you need. But one negative, there is no secondary SSD slot like you'd get on the Jumper EasyBook Pro or the Chewy Lapbook Air. The SSD you see here is the one provided by Teclast. The bottom plate is held in by 10 screws. Removing those, it's really easy to remove the bottom plate, and you can access the innards of this device. It has Windows 10 Home and it is activated, which is always a good sign. It has 8 GB of DDR3 RAM and it has 128 GB SSD, of which 94.6 GB are available to the user. And here's how it did on the CrystalDiskMark test. 484 on the read, 146 on the write. That's so-so. It did a 5062 on the multi-core score and a 2357 on the single-core score. And the OpenCL score, it did 14,769. I'll have a lot more benchmarks and testing in the full review, so stay tuned for that. It has Bluetooth 4.2 and wireless AC 3165. It's dual band wireless, and here's how it did on the uploads and downloads.
So this is the front-facing webcam on the Teclast F6 Pro. It's a 720p, 30 frames per second. I don't know what's going on with the sound. There's a hissing sound coming through. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Maybe some kind of interference. I guess this is okay in terms of Skype, any kind of video conferencing. If you need to do it, it certainly can get the job done. Let's hear how it sounds when you're typing, and let's see if the microphone picks up any of the keystrokes. That's what it sounds like. So you be the judge. This has been the front-facing webcam on the Teclast F6 Pro.
Now, in a departure from other Chinese manufacturers, they do put the speakers above the keyboard, below the display by the hinges. And actually, they're not terrible, but they're not great either. Doesn't have a lot of bass. The volume is okay, but they sound a little bit tinny. They're not the worst I've ever heard, but they're certainly not the best. Now let's hear them in action to give you a quick example. The TBook F6 Pro sports a 5,000 mAh battery. I'm guessing around 6 to 7 hours at most, maybe less. I don't know. I'll have to do my full testing in terms of battery life and charging times in that full review, so stay tuned for that. So far, it's looking pretty good. A lot of pleasant surprises on a $450 laptop that is a convertible coming out of China. Of course, the proof is in the pudding, as they say, so stay tuned for that full review. So what do you think about the TBook F6 Pro from Teclast? I actually like it. I think for $450, you're getting a really premium 2-in-1 that can go into obviously the different modes thanks to its 360-degree hinge. Build construction, build quality is really first rate. I was actually kind of surprised. Not something we've seen out of Teclast until now. They're trying to compete with the Xiaomis and the Chewies that have really been stepping up their game as of late in terms of the budget level laptops, and I think this one sort of fits that bill. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that we don't have a fully laminated display. I would have liked to have seen that, but the display is not bad. It's still very sharp. It's a full HD 1920 by 1080 panel, and I actually think it's okay. It's not the greatest I've ever seen, and it's certainly not the brightest, but it's certainly an IPS panel, so you're going to get those good viewing angles, and the blacks are pretty deep, but overall I would say it's a good panel, not excellent like we've been seeing, not quite as good as a Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro. But as far as everything you'd want in a 2-in-1 in a sense, because you can use this in the tent mode, tablet mode, stand mode, and of course laptop mode. And at 1.8 kilograms or whatever it is with weight, it's not heavy. It feels good in the hand. I wouldn't use this as a tablet per se for extended periods of time, but if you want to jot down a note or something, you can do it. And as far as the pen is concerned, I don't have one on hand, so I really can't comment. I'm hoping it's a good pen. I'm hoping to get one to review, and if I do, I certainly will let you know my findings and what I think of the pen with the F6 Pro. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in that comment section below. Stay tuned, the full review will be coming where I'll obviously put it through the ringer. My normal testing that I do here at AMDtech will test everything from performance, benchmarks, battery life, the display, you name it, we'll test it. Once again, stay tuned for that full review coming very soon. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.